Okay, so Joe Pavey, we're here in Exeter Arena. Have you run yet today already?
No, but I'm planning to run later. I'm really motivated to get my fitness levels up. I feel like I spend a lot of time doing things involved with running. I need to make sure I get out there and do more myself. I'm still really motivated and, I'm still loving it, definitely.
Now, it's been a few years since you ran PBs on the track and the road. Can we ask your age now? I think you're the wrong side of 40, I've heard.
Yeah, definitely. 51. Yeah.
51 now?
Yeah,
okay.
I know, I'm getting old, but it's lovely, with the coaching. My husband's doing so much coaching now, and it's lovely seeing the athletes coming through. I'm really enjoying that and really enjoying being involved with lots of things to do with running, helping Gavin with the coaching, being involved with Imbrace and running at 40 plus, doing some work with Eurosport and Runs World, just things to do with running. I feel really fortunate to still be involved because it's such a great sport, and I'm still really enjoying everything about it, really.
You're still looking in great shape. How are your limbs holding up these days?
I don't know if I'd say I'm in great shape. I have aspirations to get in better shape. Sometimes I have a sneaky look at those sort of vet records and think, could I? But, when I'm seeing what the vets are doing, they're running absolutely amazingly. And, I know it takes a lot of training to do that, but I love setting myself goals and trying to achieve them. I think I'm lucky that I've been able to keep running without too many injuries. I've got these great Imbrace leggings now that support the joints. I've really benefited from those as well. But generally, also, I feel like the stuff I've learned over the years does help me to listen to my body and make those good decisions, and also prioritising what the important sessions are rather than trying to do everything and ending up being injured. So I feel like actually for Gavin and I, we do feel that we're able to pass on things we've learned to try and keep the athletes as injury free as we can, so I feel like, I've learned that over the years, hopefully.
You had a great streak of championships where you made Olympics after Olympics, European, Commonwealth, World Championships. You don't seem like an athlete who tended to get injured that much during your career, but I guess you must have had some little aches and pains and maybe the odd surgery here and there. Did you have any particular danger areas? It's like some athletes maybe have sore Achilles or dodgy knees or whatever. Did you have areas that were...
definitely injured everything over the years. I think actually earlier in my career I used to get more injured because I didn't have that level of experience. I didn't know how to put the training mix together, and it was difficult. But I did have a lot of calf injuries over the years as well, which is why I used to wear those funny long socks. And funnily enough, I don't really wear them now because of the super shoes.
The super shoes do the job.
Obviously they can help you run quicker time. Not for me. I'm past being able to run quick times, whatever I put on my feet. But, for me, I do notice how much they protect the legs. And of course, with the leggings as well from Imbrace, that can protect my knees because my knees have a tendency to be dodgy because I had an operation on one of my knees. But I've had back problems, a lot of shin problems, a lot of Achilles. But I did feel in the later years of my career, I used to actually be less injured because it was more about not only the body being more adapted to running, it was being able to make those good decisions on a daily basis to thinking, consistency is the key. You're making those decisions, not only whether you need to delay a session a day, but during the actual session, you kind of think, right, get the volume done, and any kind of speed work is more sort of icing on the cake that you can do if you haven't got any niggles. And it's kind of doing what you can do rather than pushing to what you really want to do and ending up with nothing in a way. And I kind of was able to judge what I could get away with. Also was looking at what surfaces I was running on, making sure I wasn't wearing spikes all the time. And just juggling things. And,
No, it's interesting because I would have thought you would be more likely to get injured when you're a bit older, when you've got more miles on the clock, so to speak. And when a bit of wear and tear had started to kick in, but you reckon you got injured more when you were younger?
Yeah, I think.
And when you got older, you sort of ran a bit smarter. Your body was maybe a bit more sturdy as well, and was used to all the mileage, so you were less likely to get injured.
Yeah, and I think when you're younger, you can get away with a lot to a certain extent, but actually, it's the other way around. That if you haven't got that experience, you can end up not having that ability to listen to your body. You don't know about what training mix is logical to give you enough recovery to then be ready for the next session. And it's harder to make those calls to keep the training consistent as well. And I think for all athletes, it's beneficial to learn about the training and what training is correct, but also learning about your own body and being able to listen to your body and know those signals of when, right, okay, that needs to stop there. I need to, and you kind of learn and you just kind of gain that experience. And I think, like you were saying, your body does get to the point where it can cope with those higher training loads, but it does take a while. Like I say to any junior athlete, build up gradually. Don't try and get all the training done in the first couple of years of your career, because you want to be there in a few years when you're ready to be at your peak performances. You want to capitalize on your body being at the best it can be, and not you've burnt yourself out and not been able to have that long enjoyable career. Because for me, I've really enjoyed the amount of years that I've been able to take part in championships.
A particularly long career.
Well, just, I look back and think all the amazing people I met along the way, all the experiences I've had, that's what I'll take away from it. I feel really fortunate, definitely.
Yeah. You obviously still run now. You've got ambitions. Maybe we might see you in some masters competitions in coming years. Do you find you have any niggles and problems now that you have to deal with, or are you pretty good for your age? Yeah,
not too bad. I mean, I sometimes do have problems with my knees, and that's why I do benefit from the Imbrace leggings, because they support the knee and keep them warm. But
I was going to say, tell me a bit about the Imbrace leggings, because you're using those quite a lot lately, aren't they? What do they do for your body?
I've been really excited to have the leggings and work with them, because I thought, that's a really unique concept, because they're leggings, but they have inbuilt support around sort of the low back, the IT bands and hips, and around the knees. And you can feel that sort of level of support. But also for me, I additionally benefit from the fact that it keeps my knees warm. So I really enjoy that. But anything I can do
which is handy in the British winter.
Going. Yeah, I mean, I do need to sort of think of things to keep me going. But generally, I think also just getting out, running in beautiful locations like near my home or elsewhere, it's like, it's not only good for fitness, it's good for your mental well-being, isn't it? And I think as I have got to the later years, I've been able to even take that on board even more than I did when I was younger. You think, wow, running is great, and just all the people you're still in contact with and everything. But I do have little eyes on trying to get myself a bit fitter, but life just gets really busy, in a good way. There's a lot of things to deal with, and then obviously things going on with the kids and things. It's juggling everything. Like so many people, everyone's busy. And I think when I'm thinking about advising people with training that have got busy lives, it is about prioritising the important sessions, juggling things, finding a way, and enjoying that challenge, really.
Yeah. You say advising people. Yourself and your husband Gavin have a bit of a group here, don't you? Do you still train with them a little bit, or do you just advise or help with the coaching?
I do, and I can, because we've got obviously our own kids, and things going on with them that can sometimes be challenging, because I get involved with advice and sort of looking at the training programs and that. But Gav is very much the lead coach, because that is what he's done, and he's done that for a lot of years, obviously helping me. And it's been really exciting to see how well the athletes are doing. All of them are doing really, really well, and they're all such great people, and just really enjoying that, definitely.
You mentioned earlier on the shoes these days are a lot more spongier, and you perhaps don't need the compression socks anymore because the shoes do the job. Have you found that other things have changed in the past kind of 10, 15 years that have affected the way that you train? For example, does Gavin coach people the same way that he coached you, or have things changed a little bit along the years?
I'd say that I do wear compression socks sometimes when I need them, because I still get that benefit, but I don't have to traditionally put them on for everything. Like, I remember times back in my career, like even when I was just doing my runs around the park, I'd need to wear them, whereas now I would still wear compression socks if I'm doing a really hard workout. That's good. But the shoes definitely I think have an impact on athletes, not only because good on the athletes, won't we? Not going to not wear them, are you? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because it would be a silly decision not to wear them if your rivals are wearing them, wouldn't it? They're like, times have moved on. But it's not only the performances in the races, it's the impact it can have on training. I think athletes are able to do more training without getting the injuries in the same way, because I think back to like when I was running marathons, and you'd be wearing like such thin flats, you could feel the road. And I remember when I did the New York Marathon particularly. Like I was trying to go sightseeing with my family the day after, and you literally can't walk. It's not like, oh, you're a bit sore. No. You're like literally can hardly walk, and the recovery it would take. And even just, I'd try and do a half marathon before I did my marathon, but you would have to accept that whole week after the half marathon, you couldn't get back into your marathon training because you'd be so sore, because you literally, the thinner the shoe, the better. The more you could feel the tarmac, the better, and Gav used to say to me, wouldn't you be better off in a chunkier shoe? But the way the shoes were then, if you wore something chunky, they were heavy.
They were just heavier.
Yeah, and it would be just far too much energy consumption to try and run race pace in them. Whereas now, obviously, the height stack enables the carbon plate to work, but also the actual cushioning itself, the technology in that, the cushioning's lighter, it's bouncier. But times have moved on. I mean, obviously the athletes are going to wear them, because why wouldn't they? It'd be silly not to. And it has added that new dimension, hasn't it, to, I suppose, the fact that records are being broken. There's been a lot of publicity in, athletics because of the records being broken and everything.
Exactly.
But I mean, it's different times, because it's not just shoes, is it? It's nutrition as well. The nutrition side of things and things like that has also improved. It's all progression, isn't it? It's natural, and it keeps things exciting.
And I guess the setup you've got here, it's not all about running on the roads or the track, is it? You've got some great trails and loads of fields. Perhaps some of them a little bit waterlogged at this time of year.
Yeah, no,
after
definitely.
all the rain that we've had. But it's a lot of the stuff you do and your athletes do, it's all on softer surfaces.
Yeah, exactly. And Gav will train the junior group on the grass when he can. It's been quite challenging the last few weeks, because it has been too boggy, and you've got to have the balance, haven't you? If you go somewhere too wet and boggy, that in itself can cause an injury, because you're sloshing all over the place. And if you're trying to do really good speed work, there's going to be actually more effort through the stabilizing muscles, like around the shins and the hips and things like that. So it's kind of weighing it up, but it's been
the Devon is basically a great place to train.
Yeah, there's
must
lots
be
of nice,
if you've stayed down here, because you grew up here, and you've obviously moved back down here, and you've got a training group here, so it must have everything that you need, really.
And we've got the great track here at Exeter Arena. It's really nice. I've always appreciated.
A bit windy today, though.
Yes, it can be windy, but so recently I think it's been raining, but it's not been windy. I mean, like Innes has been up here training when it's been absolutely lashing it down, and but it wasn't windy, and all the squad go out there and they still produce the goods, and they've all done so well. And I'm always like in admiration of the squad for being so determined. So I'm thinking, was I that determined to train in that sort of way? And I thought, I would have been, and it's great to see how motivated they all are. Like I said, I'd love to list all of them, but it would be a big, long list. They have all done absolutely brilliantly, and it's really exciting to see how well they're doing.
Yeah. My last question, it's always one of my favourite stories in athletics. Your Exeter Harriers vest, which I think you wore at the night of the 10,000 PBs once, and you said it was older than a lot of the athletes who have you still got that vest? Is it in a drawer somewhere?
Yeah,
do you still wear it occasionally?
I've still got it, but it was the story that had a Exeter Harriers crop top, and I'd gone ahead to the race, and Gav was coming up later, and I realised I'd forgotten my club crop top, and I said to Gav, could you just wash it quickly? And he just threw it in the washing machine on a really hot wash, so the burgundy of Exeter Harriers ran into the whites. The whole thing was just pink.
Oh no.
And it was no good. So then he had to ferret through the loft to find my Exeter Harriers vest that was one I had when young, and it was older than all the other competitors in the race. And it was kind of a bit of a story, but
so when does that date back to then? When did you wear that as a teenager even, or when you were in your early 20s?
It would have been 1988 or so. Yeah, that's how old I am. Yeah, I mean,
you still got it.
I got known for being old, so I think all the stories around that time, like especially around 2014 when I did the European Champs, it was the thing I was known for was being old.
Yeah,
and I think
old but fast.
Well, I don't know about that, but it was just like literally, being known for being old. But I liked the banter. I had a lot of banter. My teammates would call me Granny, and you know, and it's funny, like now I'm even older, obviously. So, but yeah, I'd like to, you know, get out there and get racing. Still keen to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Well, thanks very much, Jo.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Cheers.